Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory. We're going to be watching Mayweather versus Castillo. We're actually going to be watching every single Mayweather title fight on Patreon. We could watch the older ones too. They're not as long though. A lot of them are like first round knockouts, like, whatever. We might. But we're going to be watching the entire Mayweather fightography on Patreon for his title fights. Gennaro Hernandez is already up. I thought I would put this one on YouTube because it's a very hotly contested one. And this is kind of the style of videos that go on to onto Patreon. They're more live fights, more talk through, and we watch the fights kind of live. And we'll kind of go through and talk and you know, well, we're gonna do it right now. So right away, Mayweather, very quick reflexes. Notice he's baiting punches already, right? He likes to be a little bit, how do you say it? More athletic than I'll say not defensive, but he's not really catching as many punches and blocking as many punches, but he's got very explosive offenses and defenses. Sees that Castillo crouches, gives him a stepping jab into a stepping jab, easily parried. These were not really feinted or set up. It's the second attack in a row. He's kind of exploding out of his guard. Mayweather has a very explosive style. People don't really attribute that to him because they don't really see him get tired or get knockouts. But Mayweather has a very explosive style. He just doesn't really get paid off for them. Now, very explosive style again. He doesn't want his opponents putting a lot of pressure on him, and what he's hoping here by hitting with these, big stepping jab, he's trying to catch him hard with the jab, right? He showed him a stepping jab in the last sequence, so this time he goes around the guard with the leaping shot. He's trying to discourage Castillo from coming onto his line, right? He doesn't want Castillo to be pressuring him. He wants him to take it slow on the outside because that gives him the most amount of space to play and do stuff like this. Now, this might seem kind of innocuous, but Mayweather having to do this simply to defend himself because, and this is a very high energy move if he's just whipping himself away. And this is his standard defense, okay? This is going to be very important later because it's going to be kind of obvious, like Mayweather should not be standing in the position being scored on in the positions that he's in. But when we talk about his type of defense, the type of moves, his type of offense, right? These kinds of fast, twitchy, right? He's going to give him a little bit of a feint here, down. Then he comes around the guard. He goes up with both feet, both structure. Throws the leaping shot. Now, this is another very common thing from Mayweather because Mayweather doesn't really have very good defense. I know. People seem to think his defense is the best in the world, all that funny stuff. His defense is, on average, like, pretty bad, okay? Number one, the first thing that you're supposed to do before you throw a punch, before you do anything, you got to get your weight to the ground. The ground is the first piece of your kinetic chain. It's just what you have to do. That's why a pull counter, you're supposed to get down to the ground. Mayweather does his pull counter, as we saw, he'll just whip his head back like that. But he's pulling his weight away from the kinetic chain, and this makes it more difficult to add power to your next attack. Okay? But he throws this shot, and because he doesn't pull, he doesn't get his weight to the ground. He's not really blocking punches. We never see him block. He'll try to shoulder roll off the left shoulder, but does he block off the right? And because of all this stuff, he doesn't really look to interact with his opponent's punches. So he's going to shove him instead. All right, and control him. Now, some of this is okay. But as we see, he's going to go with the leaping hook here, right? And similar to Artur Beterbiev, right? Artur Beterbiev did this a lot this weekend. Gets to this position, and then he does throw a punch here. Okay, I'll give him credit for a punch here. Jumps into this two here, and now shoves him. Right? And what he's trying to do, okay, he's trying to not put himself in any more danger because he did something very dangerous, all right? A few things, okay? He's going to jump into this punch. Watch him create a structure. He's going to jump. He goes down. Now he blasts into his two. And now he doesn't want to make it back to his boxing position or his boxing stance, whatever you want to call it, because that's the highest likelihood of him just getting hit. But it's very difficult to go from throwing your right hand back across the line at a high level. You're not allowed to just do that, right? So he wants to get to this position. He winds up getting checked by Castillo anyway, but his defense on average is not very good. Okay, now I know He adopted a lot of other moves and styles and things later on in his career where he'll duck below the waist, or he'll throw that shot and he'll roll under the right hand, or he'll roll under the left hand as if a left hook is coming. Even if a left hook doesn't come, he'll still use that move, which is fine. Anyway, just to kind of set a little tone for the Mayweather style. And it's important when we think about this being one of the hardest fights in Mayweather's career, because of the fact that how good was Jose Luis Castillo at all? Right? Do we actually rate him as a good fighter? I know people seem to think that because he had wars with Diego Corrales, who Mayweather dog walked, he obliterated that guy. But because he had close fights with that guy and they were fun and entertaining, because of the fact that Arturo Gatti had fun and entertaining fights with Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti didn't win. Arturo Gatti got beat up and knocked out by Carlos Baldemir. Beat up and knocked out. Beat up and knocked out. Okay? Now, getting back to the Mayweather fight, okay? Stepping jab. We all know stepping jabs are very dangerous. Now, who's going to have one of the best stepping jabs ever? The guys who are in the best ever shape. Obviously. But when we think about Floyd Mayweather's style here and what he's trying to accomplish, here's his defense. Some guys stepping jab at him. He parries one, takes a step off the line, expects to parry another. Pendulum step, pendulum step. Now he's on the ropes. Stepping jab. But anybody who's ever fought like this, real quick, he's going to parry this jab. This is not a legal defense. You're not allowed to do this. This is a foul. Okay? Ducking below the waist removes all the targets from your opponent. If your opponent is doing something, and again, this is a very common thing from Floyd Mayweather, where his opponent is going to pendulum step on his line. Here he comes, jab, right? And if he thinks he's going to be pendulum stepping and getting close to his line, he's going to duck to get away from the right hand. Okay? And that stops him from having to fight people who can pendulum step. Now, if we take that one step further and we think about that idea, Mayweather doesn't pendulum step on his opponent. Here's his pendulum step, but he leaves the line immediately. Right? He jumped on the line with the stepping jab, but he's never going to do that move to somebody else. Almost in his entire career does he ever do it. I don't think I've ever seen him do it. You know, I'll also err on the side of caution, like maybe he does it one time to some guy in some fight that no one's ever seen. Who knows? But that's not really his style. His style, again, is this very, very, very flashy, explosive, right? I'm the faster guy, and if you get to the line and you get to attack before me, I'm just going to duck below the waist, right? No defense there. That's not defense. It's a foul. Okay? And like just looking where his head goes, again, it's below his opponent's belt, right? You're not allowed to throw punches below anybody's belt line, right? So technically Mayweather's head is in a zone that it's illegal to throw punches anyway. But where's all the body target, right? How does Castillo find it? Does he have to crouch that low too? So that's not real defense, okay? And his offense, when he gets to go, consists of him just moving around a little bit of a feint, and then he's going to throw some explosive punches and then take up time on the clock. Okay, now, if you can do this for 12 rounds, so front foot, jab, pendulum, right? Once he gets there, Mayweather is fully all the way down. Now he's wrapping his left arm around Castillo's body. Again, that's 2 fouls in a row, and this is all because his defense is so explosive, his offense is so explosive. If you throw punches at him, he has to jump off the line, and in order to stop you from throwing punches at him, he has to throw punches. So when he doesn't want to punch and he doesn't want to jump off the line, which both take a lot of energy, he does this defense, which is a foul. It's cheating, right? And he still gets paid. He still has to pay for it a little bit because it's not actually a good defense. Mayweather just happened to be on average more strong and more fit than most of his opponents. Now, another very, very common Mayweather thing, there was a break in the action. You know, if he's not going to be the one to touch gloves, a lot of times he'll be the one to just blast on the line and just throw weight while people are resetting. Now, a very common thing, again, Mayweather, we talked about it, throws the shot, shoving, right? Again, his post-punch defense, not very good, okay? He tries to be so explosive. He forces himself to shift. But this also creates opportunities for him to make it look like, to someone who's never fought, the ref, um, an accident, and he doesn't get penalized for it. He can only be rewarded by being allowed to throw free punches at an opponent who is, basically being wrestled and pushed off his line. Now, another move from Mayweather, down, right? The guy is pendulum stepping onto his line. Now he's coming up, he's shouldering him, controlling him with the arm, right? And he's going to try to shove him, okay, to create space. Again, you're not allowed to do that either. But it's interesting because we're going to see some of this in later on in the fight benefit Castillo. But again, all that stuff, that shoving, that wrestling stuff, that's what Mayweather does when he doesn't want to use energy. Now look at Mayweather's guard. Is he in range to be hit? No. Right? You got a stepping jab with him. He doesn't want to be in range to probe each other. Right? His hands are down. Ooh. Gets to the line for a second. Ooh. And then feinted, and then again ducking. Right? He sees the guy penduluming in on him. And then Mayweather tries to shove him. Now, just real quick, I mean, if you can get your hands on your opponent here, why aren't you punching him? I mean, I guess you can say that for both guys. But why is Mayweather's defense there shoving his opponent? And he got away with it how many times in a row? Did he even look to land any punches? Right? Now, punches like this, right? Is Mayweather trying to win the fight? Or is he just trying to eat time on the clock? Right? Anyway, just some thoughts. Just some thoughts. So we're going to watch the fight a little bit more free now. And talk about, post-punch defense again, stepping jab. Very dangerous at a high level. Not everybody gets to get away with that stuff, right? Another little leaping shot. Now again, Mayweather taking up and jumping on top of Castillo's line. He throws this shot, pendulums on him, steps on his foot here, right? And now he's literally inside his line. If he didn't move his left leg back, right, he'd be on top of him. Mayweather a little bit southpaw. And I suspect that Mayweather is southpaw here because of the fact that Castillo, for the most part, kind of just has his hands up in a position where he's not being completely pot-shotted by Mayweather, right? And Mayweather, again, he's not a guy who fights off of his own punches. We see somebody like Lomachenko who can jab and probe and who can pull off of his own moves. A guy who can, people who have like stepping jabs, people who have, just ways that they get on the line to fight and set up other punches. Mayweather doesn't. Pull, right hand. Now, I just want to hear that real quick. It doesn't even sound like it lands. I don't think he gets him here. I think he's pulling just off enough, and then he comes back with his own shot. He kind of does get Mayweather in the body. But again, Mayweather, after he throws a punch, after he does a move, after he does a thing, he doesn't get his structure. He tries to get his structure before he punches. Look at his feet come up off the ground, throws this punch. His first instinct right now is not to block or catch a punch or get down to pull. It's to put his arms on his opponent. And in this case, he almost eats a shot. Almost eats a shot. Does eat a shot. Okay? On top of that, he's controlling here and he holds it out here. This is actually illegal to hold it out there for multiple beats. Doesn't wind up costing him though. Now here's the thing. This is usually how you just pay for people doing that. But if your opponent's the stronger, the fitter guy, when they stiff arm you like that you can just stiff arm them, right? That's just what it is. Just is. The guy's really got to try really hard to hit him. All right, they're okay, guys. Now, when we talk about fundamental concepts and fundamental boxing and fundamental theories. My personal theory, having an active guard, and I talked about it a few years ago. It's you have to constantly be moving, feinting, and controlling your opponent. Otherwise, you run the risk of your opponent being able to feint and control you, right? So, what if Mayweather is setting up his pull counter, and say someone, Marcos Maidana, throws out a jab, and he was waiting for that jab, but Marcos Maidana knew he was waiting for that jab, so he pulls, and then he throws his punch, and then Maidana slips and hits him and knocks his tooth out. Could happen, right? um, but if you're just letting your opponent go first, or you're letting your opponent's ability to control you is much greater, right? Now, again, sitting here without an active guard, pendulum, he controls him. He's going to pendulum onto his line, and now he's going to move into a leaping hook, which I think actually kind of gets Mayweather. Now, again, Mayweather not trying to fight. Mayweather's not trying to control his opponent. He doesn't know how to block punches. He doesn't catch punches. If he's not going first, right, and like we established, the tighter guard of Castillo, because, Mayweather hasn't really, he's fought a couple of guys who are like, okay, but this guy has more probably fight experience than maybe anybody that Mayweather's ever fought. I think he was Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.'s sparring partner. So he gets hit a lot, right? That. Tight guard, right? Nothing super spectacular about him, though. Right? Castillo is like a pretty average, he's an average bloke, right? Okay? Terrence Crawford sees a guy coming in here, stepping jab like this. But look at him pump his freaking hand, right? Right? He's got to get down. He comes up. He gets timed. Mayweather's timing him, but he's getting timed himself, right? Now, this is one decent move that Mayweather has. He'll do this move, stepping jab, and he'll try to come off the line with a little hook thing here. He does it to a lot more of the worst fighters. It's not like I don't want to say it's like not a real move, but it's definitely one of those like more riskier when you pull straight back, because if you look at what he's doing when he gets there, it's very similar to his other right hand pull counter where he tries to get to the back like this, but he's throwing the left hand after instead of the right hand. So mechanically it's similar, but it's different, but it's, same. Now, real quick, get punched in the face, pull, throws a shot, right? Now, if we talk about energy, stepping jab, pull, hook, and then peel, right? High energy, right? Jose Luis Castillo is controlling space, right? He's about to cut the ring off. Mayweather has to throw a stepping jab, high energy. Mayweather, does he need a rest? Is he tired? Can he continue snapping like that? Let's take a break. Stuck below the waist. Now, duck below the waist, he did land a punch. Jose Luis Castillo landed a punch there as well. You're not allowed to wrap your arm around your opponent's body, but Castillo getting warned for grabbing the arm or holding his arm there. Weird. You never see that anymore, do you? Penduluming onto his line. I think he lands a body shot here. Where's the defense, right? Now, real quick, I just want to point out, Mayweather, he'll circle a little bit, right? But remember, a lot of times when he's moving around and you get him toward a position in the corner, he's just going to take up that position. What he's trying to do is he's trying not to let you, like, Canelo, when the ring is cut off and there's no space here, and he's like, oh shit, I'm going to get him. Mayweather doesn't want to cross that point because he doesn't want Castillo to lunge at him when he has no space to go away, right? So this sequence here, right, where Castillo's going to jump on his line here when pendulum step, Mayweather still has space to move back so he can get away from the brunt of that power, and he needs to avoid that sequence right here. So he doesn't want to entice Castillo into jumping, into lunging into that punch by crossing his line. So he's going to take a break here, slow down, and now make him lose his momentum, right? Pretty smart. That was one of the things that Mayweather did that was pretty good in his overall overarching strategy of don't let your opponent pendulum. That was legal, right? The other one is duck below the waist, right? If he has nowhere to go, he'll just duck below the waist in that position. And again, that's not legal, right? Now, Your opponent approaches you, okay, and they're going to attack you. He's sitting on the line here. He gets feinted down. Mayweather pulls, comes back with this little hook thing just to control space and circles, right? On average, for him to cross this line, right? Because in order for him to get out, I just explained to you what Castillo wants. He has to figure out a way. What's the cost of business here? It's not free just to move around the ring, right? If your opponent is cutting the ring off. If your opponent is not Regis Prograis and he's not going to take a step inside your line and just give away lead foot dominance when he has the most dominant position available, right? Look at Mayweather's whole game right now, right? So he's like, okay, I got to control some space. Don't let him come in. Control, gets his opponent to react, down, comes in, he pulls from his pendulum and re-enters. Pretty good move, high risk. Mayweather can't do this every single time against the ropes against this guy. He can't, because eventually he's going to pick up that pattern, right? We'll start seeing some patterns picked up. We'll start seeing some cool stuff, I think. It's been so long since I've seen this fight. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got Castillo. He's going to hit up his active guard here. Slip into the front foot to the back foot. Crossing the line, back foot. And weaving through the line here, right? Uninterrupted by Mayweather, who's just happy to, have no active guard, no feint, no control, nothing of his opponent. Gets 1-1-2'd and gets smacked right in the face. Really, really hard, stiff shot. I really think, again, Mayweather doesn't keep his hands up. He doesn't block punches. He doesn't this, and that. He's just trying to time it, right? But, anyway, more people should have been able to achieve that. Now he has the ring cut off, right? Now, he can't sit on the ropes, so he's got to move. Now, he can't keep moving because we can see that Castillo's penduluming, right? So he has to take place. He has to plant himself, get his base down, stepping jab, right? Is he going to just probe with the jab? No, he's going to step with it. He pulls, and he tries to come back onto his line. Again, very, very high energy moves from Mayweather. A lot of movement, right? The cost of business to fighting a real professional guy is really high, right? Very high energy. And we'll see all this, I'm pretty sure we'll see most of this have an effect later in the fight. Mayweather stepping jab, getting caught over the top. Okay, now, it did take almost 2 full rounds for Castillo to start finding that move, right? Now, again, comes in on the line, ducking below the waist, where the illegal targets, right? Gets hit here, misses. Mayweather misses. I think he misses there. He gets him there. Mayweather gets him there. He's controlling his head. Was that overall even a great sequence for Mayweather? Now again, coming in, gets off the line. Mayweather has to duck below the waist to continue the sequence, right? And again, hook. When does he get down, right? He's going to get down anyway, right? Hook. What's he going to do next? He's going to get down. But look at how he pops up first, right? Again, definitely a fundamental misunderstanding from Mayweather about where punching power comes from, about, everyone thinks it's, my punch is like this straight or whatever, whatever it is. This sharp looking or whatever. Anyway, there's only so many things that Mayweather can do if he's not able to block any punches, right? And there we see again, even if we just gave Mayweather minus one punch, right? Like in football, if you do something that affects the play, you get penalized for it, right? This is clearly affecting the play, right? Every time there's a foul, it affects the play. It has an absolute effect on it. Jab, pulled, punch. Now Castillo getting down, right? Not bad. Not bad. Again, what traps does Mayweather have to fight off of his jab, right? Jab, pull, jab, pull, hook thing, right? His pulls don't get him to the ground. When do his left hands connect to his right hand? Well, they don't really, right? Now again, steps on his line, and he shoves him, right? Not legal. He gets warned for this. Now, I want to point out real quick, okay? Mayweather has a plethora of fouls. I think I talked about it on Patreon already. But there's the Gennaro Hernandez fight is already on Patreon, if you guys want to check it out. Patreon has a 7-day free sign up for the $10 a month thing, so you guys can sign up for 7 days for free and watch a bunch of stuff. Check out the film studies. If you guys like it, you can stay. But Mayweather's, he'll do these fouls, he'll do these things in his fights. And Mayweather was a champion for like 20 years. And he does the same fouls at the beginning of every fight. Right? It's part of the way that he kind of tires you out so he can continue taking advantage of how he's the bigger, stronger guy, even though like he's not always bigger, but he's definitely the stronger guy. Now, again, the guy pendulums on his line. If your opponent jabs at you and they pendulum on you here, and they land right here, if your name is Terrence Crawford, you're going to knock that guy out, right? Now, what happens if the guy that you're fighting, like, is Jose Luis Castillo as good as Errol Spence? Because Errol Spence would be punching right now, right? Terrence Crawford fought the guy whose best move is this move, right? Jab, pendulum, and then just batter the line, right? Mayweather is showing a complete inability to fight the guy who can do that, right? Ducking below the waist off that pendulum. Terrence Crawford knocked that guy out when he landed. Oh, you're going to do this move on me? I'm going to knock you. And again, Mayweather doesn't really interact with his opponent's punches very well, right? The fact that he can't really time this or make Castillo pay for this move. Terrence Crawford knocks people out. Terrence Crawford knocks bigger people out. Right? Again, Mayweather's overall like boxing skills, speed, super fast. Power, super bad. Overall amount of skills, pretty low. Jab, pull-ish, right? Jab. When did he get down? Where are his pulls? Right? High energy, high output. Now, starting to make some adjustments. Pendulum, gives him a little pendulum, comes down, up, down, gives him a couple of feints when he lands, gets him to walk into an uppercut. Mayweather fouls. Again, if his hands aren't up, he can't guard the line. He can't stop Castillo from hitting him with the straight punch if he gets too close. So as Castillo gets closer, he has to start ducking. He has to start doing things to spoil. Jab to the body, and then spoil. Right? Even if that's a bad technique of a punch, it doesn't matter if he can grab his opponent. Mayweather was trying to get his pull counter going there. We'll talk a little bit about his rear hand probe here. Down, up. Look at both of his feet here. Then down into his dart. Okay? Now, if he knew he was going to do this, why did he have to jump and shift and do this? Right? Why can't he just do it off of a regular probe? Why does he have to stepping jab here? Now, pretty slick here, pulling away this way. Kind of crazy that it actually worked, that he actually made it off the line here. Feinted him to this way, got Castillo to step to the center of his line and pulled out this way. Barely controlled the jab, right? Still pulling. Down. Controls him. It's not exactly a push, but the control is there, right? And does make space to not get hit by the right. Pretty clean, I just want to point out. But let's take a look at high energy move, right? Boom. Wait, let's go back. High energy move, right? I know he didn't snap and hit the guy, but he's waiting. He's trying to pull. He's trying to get it going. Oh, jumping off the line. Castillo is doing almost nothing right now, by the way. and Mayweather just threw a punch and jumped all the way up in the air and then ducked below the ground. And then watch this move, this dart. Boom. Right? Look at how quick he has to move his feet. High energy. High energy move. Stepping jab. Has to step off the line. Castillo's not doing anything. Castillo just scored a point. Caught the stepping jab and countered it. High energy defense from Mayweather. Is he going to do a high energy or is he going to do a low energy one? Low energy. Still eats a shot. Shoves him. Again, illegal. So that was 2 illegal moves in a row. Now, his opponent jumps on the line, down, up with the hook, throws the right hand, splits the guard. Is it get him? It looks like it gets him, I think. Right? It's so close. I think it gets him just barely. But it gets him right through the guard. Stepping jab. Mayweather pulls again. Boom. Pull. Comes back with the cross. Ducking below the waist. Right? And again, even if you tell him, hey, don't do that, give Castillo credit for a point, this is maybe a really hard punch to the body that he doesn't have to eat. Right? And again, if you're counting punches, I mean, I guess I could have said, score the fight, guys. Right? Defense. Boom. Shift. Peel. So again, very fast, very flashy defense. Jab, I think he gets him here. Pulls straight back, very dangerous. Throws another jab, that same kind of defense. Ducks. Now, again, if you can do that all 12 rounds, that's great. But at a high level, when you're fighting like real athletes, you're fighting, like, and granted, I want to say Jose Luis Castillo, that boy is barely on the threshold of a real athlete. Barely. Controlling space with the jab, getting him to parry, and he's going to go down, up into the leaping hook. Can he fight from that position? Not really. Now again, pull counter position, pulls, gets to a position strike, misses, gets kind of pulled by Castillo as Castillo's coming forward. Now, we know that Mayweather doesn't have to stay in this position, right? We know, right, that he doesn't have to. He missed. Look at all the air. Look at all the space between that hand and Castillo's head. And he's still going to land on top of him and hold his head down, right? Again, something that Mayweather had been warned for doing his entire career. Right down to the Genaro Hernandez fight, his first title fight ever. Now, I think he knocks out Angel Manfredi without really having it. No, he definitely does it to Angel Manfredi too. But Castillo getting close enough to just land punches now. Right? He just lands that shot in. What's Mayweather's defense? Okay? Right? Again, most of the punches that Mayweather throws get interacted with by Castillo very well. He parries most of the jabs. He interacts with them. The hooks don't land super clean, but the hooks take so much risk. They take so much energy. Now he's just trading, right? Okay, so you eat a body jab, right? Mayweather throws a jab. Castillo slips to the inside and comes back with the hook. Body jab for Mayweather, blocked by Castillo. Rear hand probe. Down. Mayweather gets down, shuffles forward a little bit, throws the right hand. It looks like it's blocked by Castillo. Let's take a look. Let's make sure. Okay, he's going to get down. Look at Mayweather pendulum here. Takes that step. Yeah, it's tough. I do think it's blocked. We're not going to watch it in slow-mo one more time, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's landing. Controls him, shoots out to the right, throws another shot. This is everybody in boxing's favorite move. It's not a real move. Okay? Look at him have to put his left hand onto his head and jump this way. Right? Again, shoving his head, right? And then he still misses the punch. Like, he does everything mostly correct. But jumping out to that side, it's not a real move, guys. Don't try to do it. Not only is it not worth the energy, but when it doesn't work, it's really not gonna work. Okay? Decent. He got pendulumed on right there and didn't get hit. Again, defense, pull. It was a hook this time. Now again, it's just interesting because he can't be in range, right? Like, Mayweather has to fight at this frantic pace because if he doesn't have his hands up on the line, he has no control of the line, right? He was one beat away from Castillo hitting him with the jab, but Castillo's chilling most of the fight, right? A little bit of head movement here. He's got his hands up, right? Mayweather doesn't know exactly. Oh, good, got him with a good shot there. Where the holes are going to be, right? Because most of the holes are going to be present when Castillo is punching because his guard is so tight, right? But Mayweather can't do this. This is not a good strategy. This was a bad sequence for him. He used more energy in this sequence than Castillo did. However, he also ate time on the clock in a round he's winning. Right? It's like, is it if it was basketball, it's like running out the shot clock, right? He's just trying to push you off the line so you can't score, right? He doesn't even care about scoring points. He just cares about you not being able to score points, right? And again, no reason for this to happen. No time that he's penalized for this, right? He does this his whole career, and there was no reason for that. What in the hell did he just tell him to keep his head up? He's trying to roll under this shot, and Mayweather shoves his head, right? This is not his fault. Anyway. So, catches him with a leaping hook, tries to shove him, doesn't get the shove correct, eats a body shot, right? And again, Mayweather, he's not throwing this punch to score. He's throwing this punch to control space, okay? It's not about, getting ahead. It's about, again, finding times to make his opponent interact with him in which he might score a point, but more importantly, his opponent has to interact with his speed more so than boxing, more so than, right? And the idea that Mayweather's using is leveraging his speed and athleticism into points, right? Because what good is being the fastest guy who can't really box, right? Who doesn't really catch and block punches? What good is being as fast as he is if he can't win any fights, right? So he just explodes on the line and then holds and controls you. Now look at this, you guys. Why did the referee tell him not to do that? That's not fair. Mayweather's allowed to grab people by the waist, right? Mayweather's allowed to grab people by the waist all his career, but Jose Luis Castillo does it one time, and all of a sudden he's told not to do it. Look at how he can't get away, you guys. Look at how desperately he's struggling. And all he has to do, he's got his frame on his head too. Do you see what's going on here? Right? Now, look at how far away this frame is, okay? These two ideas are congruent. One guy is pushing and one guy is pulling, but both of these maneuvers are the same, equally opposite, illegal, right? Anyway, I just think it's really funny. Holding his body, can't get away, he's punching him. Don't do that. Anyway, what is Jose Luis Castillo doing in this fight that's so effective, right? That makes this fight so difficult, right? He's just close enough to Mayweather most of the time that Mayweather has to go first. Mayweather has to control space with a stepping jab, so now he's getting smacked. Mayweather doesn't have good post-punch defense. He doesn't defend his positions very well. So this fight's going to get increasingly more difficult as he gets more tired and more tired and more tired. And I do want to say, normally we don't spend 10 minutes around on fights. Sometimes we do. Sometimes there's enough. Now, Mayweather, not the most amount of head movement, back foot. He's about to take a step forward, stepping jab, boom, gets timed. I don't know if Mayweather is trying to throw a right hand or what he was trying to do, but he totally gets intercepted right there. But essentially, to be in this fight with Mayweather, you basically just got to not get knocked out by one of his random fast punches and be able to catch most of his jabs, right? And you can be in the fight with Floyd Mayweather. Now, again, he's going to get on the front foot, throw the right hand, spoil the fight, try to make an illegal wrestling maneuver, occupy his opponent's line where his feet are, right, and shove him. Mayweather going first with the control. Looks like he eats a little bit of a body shot. And doing a little bit of rear hand control or lead hand control from the southpaw position. Very interesting. Again, he's not having the most amount of success landing his initial strikes, right? We see most of his jabs getting picked off, his rear hand not really working, not worth the squeeze, right? And what's his name doing a pretty decent job here weaving through the line, Castillo. Oops. But moving around the lead hand right here and finding a free punch, right? Getting into a position where he got around Mayweather's guard and Mayweather's control of the line to be close enough to snap into his shot, right? And this is pretty uncharacteristic of Mayweather because Mayweather's usually so good with the distance and the stepping jabs. But because Jose Luis Castillo can move his head and slip and roll around and under the line, he can still get close enough to Mayweather that Mayweather's stepping jab doesn't threaten his position, right? See, he comes forward. He's ready to catch that shot. He's ready to get his rear glove. Well, he wasn't there, little idiot. But Mayweather's having a very difficult time regulating the space between him and his opponent because of his ability to interact with that jab as well, right? So throwing it here becomes a liability because he might get chased down. Jab, pull. Again, very, very jab. Mayweather tries to counter. Is this a good structure? Is this a good this? Is it good that? Doesn't matter because Mayweather's just going to hold him and shove his head. Now, I do want to say, sometimes that's going to happen, right? Sometimes that's a good strategy, right? I know I'll talk about, fouling and doing this and doing that in fights, and people will be like, you say that you'll tell your fighters to do anything to win, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up, first off. Don't be an idiot, okay? You're being disingenuous with your remark, okay? Because I'm not a shitty coach. I'm still going to teach my fighter what to do in the instances that they're not having to cheat, right? So that they have to do what his least is. And then, you're like, okay, well, I'm not in time to make this move. Maybe duck below the waist. Take a warning, right? But here's the thing. Where are the warnings for the fouls either, right? You don't just get to foul all night long. If you keep making the same foul, the penalty keeps getting worse. But there's a penalty, right? Unless you're Miguel Cotto or Amir Khan. Punching my boy Zab in the dick. Rear hand probe. Now, Mayweather is using a lot of energy to throw this shot and bounce and down, up, and throw this shot, but he's not getting paid off. Again, he's landing almost nothing Almost none of these like probing shots, almost none of his openers. And because of the fact that he doesn't fight off of any of his punches, right? What punches is he landing? Where's the hooks, right? Right? How many punches per round are we seeing? I know that he's technically scoring, right? Touching him sometimes, right? I know. But are any of these punches that he's throwing to land, right? Has a single shot that he's thrown been as good as that one? Has anything Mayweather landed been as good as that shot? Now, as the fight continues to unfold and we see Mayweather sit on the line more and more often, because again, all of his strategy takes so much energy, takes so much movement, has so much risk associated with it. He's not feinting and probing and controlling any space. His hands aren't even up, and while his hands aren't up, he can't even be on the line with his opponent. He has to be at this range. Pendulum on his line, control him to the body, hit him to the body, anticipating that he's going to duck below the waist and allow him to do that instead. Now when Mayweather comes up, now when you duck down here, if you're Tank Davis, you come up with a punch and you call it a pull counter. If you're Floyd Mayweather, you come up and you immediately put your arms around your opponent like it's a Muay Thai fight and try to control his head. Right? This is not boxing. Again, Mayweather got credit for using a strategy that didn't actually really work to win fights. Even though he was so athletic and so fast, still got hit there. He still lost this sequence here, right? 8-2 body shots. We're just going to give him credit for the one right hand to the body here and then a left hook here. This is not good defense, guys. Okay? And again, it's only going to get worse. Comes in, jab, jab, parried, makes it to the front, and again, trying to control his opponent with his arms and his elbows, gets the frame, shoves his opponent to make space, still gets hit. Okay? Decent move here, gets around the guard, body shot. Good counter from Mayweather. He's going to go from orthodox, and then he shifts off southpaw, and then is able to re-enter the line with that rear hand. Well, it becomes his lead hand as he shifts southpaw, but pretty good poke. Overall, still very poor technique. Now, pull counter, right? We can see his technique is different here. He goes back, tries to come forward with the two, misses. He catches him with the forearm, right? Again, not a scoring blow. Mayweather had poor punch technique. Holds his head, shoves his head, doesn't get called for anything, controls his head, smacks his opponent as he's wrestling him into this position. Okay? Now, if you're going to get away with it because you're doing it and the referee's over there and you can't really see what's going on and you're going to hold the guy's head and, man, do it. Like, pff. But if you're going to do that shit, you better knock that dude out, man. Why is he touching gloves right there? Does he know that was a foul? Now, again, is this good defense? He got hit here, control here, moves out the side here, gets completely smacked here, right? It's not that he has good defense, right? It's that people see when Mayweather is trying to be defensive as well, right? It's obvious when he's particularly trying to be defensive. And sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's interesting, but most of the time, he's just getting beat up. How often do you see a guy, boom, get smacked, boom, get smacked, boom, get smacked in a position here, right? And you're like at the end of that sequence, you're like, damn, this guy's one of the best defensive fighters of all time. Some guy just walks on his line and starts hitting him. He literally can't do anything but duck below the waist. So he just starts getting punched in the face and punched in the body, and people go, great defense. Couple stepping jabs. Now, again, is this a scoring punch? Sure. Technically, right? But Mayweather's not trying to win the fight, right? He's just trying to say, okay, technically I scored a point here. Okay. Did I score more points than you? I know. But that's why the frame of all of his striking and all of his stuff is just to find that one pot shot, right? Ducks below the waist, his opponent's penduluming on him, trying to come down with the shot. And he fouls, right? wraps his arms around his opponents. Again, is he tired? Why do we keep winding up in this same sequence where the whole goal of that sequence is just jab and then tie up? And even worse, did Mayweather not just get smacked by the best punch that we've seen in the last 30 seconds? Right? Again, it's not even working. All right, now point this out. Mayweather's starting to sit in a position near the ropes. He's got his high guard out. He recognizes that he's not going to be able to slip and snap away from every shot. Okay, so a little bit of changes, fundamental changes in Mayweather. Still probably poking him. I think that was a hook. I thought it was the jab at first, but the ref's a little bit in the way. So it looks like that's a landed shot. But again, did he try to land that shot hard or just try to land that shot to land it to score? Stepping jab, feint the stepping jab, throws a stepping jab, gets slipped, tries to control and shove him, right? Again, off of his jab, you guys, he's trying to shove him. Illegal. Still gets hit. Stepping jab, he does not get hit by the counter. Pretty good, not bad. He should start getting hit by it eventually. Again, controlling space with that shot. Not getting any value out of his jab, not scoring, okay? And again, it's a scoring shot, right? If it has the potential, I think, to hurt him. Throws the rear hand, down, up, right? Looks like it got him. I thought it missed at first. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Explode. Yeah, it looks like he's getting him again. He hits him, boom. Now, again, you guys, I want to talk about this. Is really important. Where's Mayweather's left hand? Why is his left hand there? He could have thrown a left hook, but instead of throwing a left hook, he put his arm on top of his head so he can try to shoot out to that side. Now, look. If Mayweather is allowed to duck below the waist and come up and grab the waist, right? Castillo should be allowed to do that too, right? Why would the referee break them from this position of parity, right? One arm of Mayweather's is tied up. One arm of Castillo's is tied up, right? Mayweather's arm is tied up, pushing Castillo's head because he's an idiot. Instead of punching his opponent, he's going to hold his head, right? Because he's not trying to score. He's not trying to... Anyway. Now, Mayweather starts to tire. He's going to start holding a lot more. He's going to start being on the ropes a lot more. And the fight's going to turn a little bit more, again, tying up after a shot. Just trying to spoil the fight. It's on purpose. Purposely doing that is a foul. Now, he did land a pretty sick right hand right there through the guard. Couple of jabs. Not bad. Not bad. Found himself again in a position, right? Eats a body shot. Fouling, right? And again, if you just give Castillo a point in every instance, like a punching point, not a real point, you just give him one punching point. Oh, that counts as a punch because Mayweather ducked below the waist. He cheated, right? Castillo is probably winning this fight. Mayweather tries to shove him. Castillo smacks him. I think Castillo misses that overhand. Mayweather's trying to shove him. Castillo's punching while he's being shoved. Castillo's punching while he's being shoved. Again, Mayweather's strategy only really works if you're the bigger and the stronger guy. If the strategy only works if you're the bigger and stronger guy, it's illegal. There's a reason it's illegal. It's because the sport is not wrestling, it's boxing. Comes forward. Jab timing, bop, feint. Mayweather's going to do that pull thing, right? And then lunge forward, right? Not a scoring blow. He's not really getting him with a scoring blow. Eats a scoring blow from Castillo, right? A little bit of a change in the way that he controlled space. He didn't throw that punch all the way out. Now again, starting a little bit of feints, right? Boom, getting Mayweather to lunge into that kind of counter, right? And again, Mayweather steps with them. So starting to expose himself, right? Has to step forward, gets caught in position. Oh, actually, I thought that shot was a little better than it was the first time. Barely glanced him. That one does kind of get him right on the chin there. Now again, Mayweather, the ring is cut off. He's gonna duck below the waist. He didn't duck below the waist, but he did try to hold, and now he's clinching. And again, this becomes such a huge pattern and problem in Mayweather's fighting because these are the only ways that he can control space on the line. He doesn't have a way with his hands. He doesn't have a way to block punches, And at this point, Mayweather is starting to lose the round, right? Now, again, controlling space, good angle from Castillo to get him to this position, and cracks him, right? He's still ducking below the waist. He's still, cheating, still fouling. This would be in basketball, if you foul a guy and they score, it's called and one, right? They get an opportunity. Oh, I scored, but you fouled anyway, right? So I still get another opportunity to get a point, right? So he gets the free throw, lands another shot. But again, just if you're counting like that, right? Just if you're like, okay, we'll be generous and we'll give Castillo the benefit of the doubt. Not really like that, but like, if we treat the fight like we're paying the referee less than Mayweather is, right? Like, if we want a little bit of fairness, right? Again, Mayweather's the one that's paying this referee, okay? So he's going to get these calls. He's not going to get all these calls for these fouls, right? Now, again, Mayweather, one punch at a time, trying to pot shot, trying to spoil the fight, trying to manually control his opponents instead of setting his punches up. Foul, give him credit for a point. Shoves him. Foul, give him credit for a point. Also in football, if you score off of a foul, you don't get credit for it, right? You have to do that one over, right? Mayweather wouldn't get credit for that punch. He just shoved the guy. That's how he made space for that punch, is by shoving him. Mayweather comes in with the right hand, again, shoving. Right hand, tries to come forward and shove, right? And gets cracked, right? And this is what should happen when guys do that move, right? But Mayweather's the fastest, the strongest-ish guy, right? It's very difficult to fight him at parity. It's very, very difficult. Little stabbing jab, trying to hope to steal a little shot. Now, again, how good is his defense here? Here he is on the line. Here's a right hand. I don't know where that goes. Left hook to the head, right? I don't know if that's landing. That's definitely landing, right? Look at Mayweather's hand position, right? Isn't he ready to block this? Why does he wind up getting smacked in the face instead? Good defense in his high guard. Does he have an active guard? Is he feinting? Is he probing? Is he slipping? Is he ducking? Is he catching punches? Is he making his opponent worried about something coming back right now? No. So what's going to happen? Well, the most likely thing that's going to happen when you get on the ropes into this position, number one, your opponent's going to throw one hard punch at you and hit you, right? Because you can't pendulum step off the line. You can't jump back, right? Or they're going to throw a two-punch combination, anticipating that you're going to see the first punch coming. They're going to hit you with the second one. One, Mayweather tries to counter the first one. Two, actually does a pretty decent job, right? Actually does a decent job there. Little leaping hook, shoves him. Makes sure that even though he does this very dangerous move from very far away, right? Makes him think it's a jab, comes in with this leaping shot. He doesn't have to pay for it, right? Not so bad there. Not so bad there. Castillo comes in with his own version, leaping shot, gets Mayweather right on the face. Is he falling behind on points? Right hand, right on the chin, really great shot. Mayweather holding, right? Mayweather's got his back, he's holding him. Again, how good is his defense? He got hit by a leaping left hook into a right hand. Castillo's trying to get on his line, trying to come forward. Mayweather shoots the jab. He's like, I need more time to recover. Blocked, Castillo takes up that space that Mayweather's trying to take up first, catches him with the hook on the inside. Again, I want to say, uh-oh, he got warned. He got warned. Finally. He might actually get taken a point in this fight, too. I'm not sure. Shoves him, right? Again, he just got warned for that. Shoves him, punches him in the head. Again, holding his head again. Illegal. Fouls. You can't give him credit for those points because they came off the back of a foul. Stepping jab. Does he get hit this time, finally? Meh. I don't know. Let me hear it. Meh. Can't tell. Okay. Activity rate from Mayweather going up. Uh-oh. So Castillo jumps onto his line again with the same combination. And again, how good is his defense? Oof, barely. Damn it, I wanted to see that right hand. Ooh, a little bit deflected on the shoulder. Again, shoving, right? It's illegal. You can't do that. Especially every single time there's a sequence. It's a foul, you guys. It's every single time, right? It's not like an accident, right? This is not an accident. He didn't accidentally just elbow him in the fucking head. Mayweather throwing little probes. Has a pretty good chin. Gets touched a little bit there. Again, how good is his defense really? Right? Gets on the line again. Mayweather is so close, he can't differentiate at this point whether it's going to be a straight punch or a hook. He comes around the guard with the hook. Smacks Mayweather. Has Mayweather landed a single punch that was as good as that? Now, real quick. Yeah, he missed it, right? He got hit. And what is Mayweather doing again? He's shoving him, right? Gets onto the line. Again, Mayweather doesn't look to interact with you when you get to the front foot here, right? Now, again, this is because Castillo's hands are so close to the line, it's not easy to hit him with a jab or a stepping jab or a right-hand probe. So Castillo has just opened up space simply by having his guard enough in a position where Mayweather just can't hit him for free, disrupt his line. It allows him to pendulum on him. And now he's going to be doing this crappy Mayweather defense, right? Where he has to, pulling. Is he getting down? Is he getting his way to the ground? How is he going to generate power for his next punch? Right? Eats a body shot. Shoves his opponent again. Again, this is illegal, guys. It's illegal to get here and shove your opponent. No. Go re-enter the line again. Give me a chance to hit you while you come in again. Okay? Timeout. Come on. I talked to the ref. It's in your contract. Okay? Boom! Look at him. Oh my God! If his name was Marcos Maidana, he'd have iced this guy. But luckily, when they fought, Jose Luis Castillo, in spite of being the champion, right? Because don't forget, and I want to point this out. This is a really important idea when you talk about Mayweather, okay? Because Mayweather talks about this point, okay? He fought more champions than anyone in history, right? What does that mean when we think about that, you guys? Well, that means that number one, Mayweather got to fight and cherry pick whatever champions he wanted at whatever division. That's why at 135, he fought like, 3 times? Right? Or was it 140? He fought like 3 times and then moved up immediately? But he fought more champions because he also competed in the era that had the most champions available. Right? Back in the day when there weren't supers and junior, right? If someone had 2 belts for a weight class, that might be modern day. That they could be, if they could have both belts at the same time, that might be span the weight of 5 weight classes today, where they are the guy for 5 weight classes. That means, and technically, if they're the guy in 2 different weight classes at the same time, right? Because they'd have in theory, the super above them, the and the super below them plus the super in the middle. That could be 5 weight classes. That's 15 belts. Because there's no in betweens, right? He fought the most champions. There were more champions available to fight in your weight at your time. Did you fight? Did you actually fight more people in real pound for pound or real top 10? Anyway, Mayweather getting smacked here, right? You don't just get to be in this position, right? Who is this? This is Chuck Liddell versus Rashad Evans, right? Boom. Okay, and again, that's not good defense. Mayweather trying to shove him, eating body shot, eating a headshot, holding his head. Look at this, you guys. Look at him. Grabbing his head, holding him. This is not good defense. And he's still getting hit, you guys. This is the most important part. He's still getting hit. It's not like it's working. It's just people gave him credit for that stuff. They gave him credit that he was a defensive wizard because there were just such obvious times in the fight where he wasn't throwing punches and he was only doing defense like this. He got countered. Okay, oh, here he is on the line. Body shot. He ate that. Body shot. He ate that. Pulled away. But that was an overwhelmingly positive sequence there for Jose Luis Castillo. Mayweather trying to get into position to throw that hook. A little bit of body shot counter from Castillo. Now, where's the active guard for Mayweather? Down, comes forward, shuffling forward, stepping jab. I thought he got countered right there. Now again, he's so close, right? Stepping jab, miss. And because Jose Luis Castillo is so close, stepping jab, right? He doesn't really catch jabs. He doesn't really catch punches very often. He doesn't interact with his opponent's punches very well. Did he catch that one? Stepping jab, miss. Damn it. Yeah, it looks like he mostly parried that one. So, decent bait, right? Stepping jab. Pull-ish. Stepping jab again, right? Again, I think on average that's a pretty bad sequence to be practicing, right? But it's jab, pull, and then stepping jab. I think it's very dangerous to do both those stepping jabs. Now again, pendulum's on his line, down, up, controls him, down, coming, right? Mayweather controls him, shoves him. Where's the warning? This should be a punch scored for Castillo. At the minimum, 1, right? And also, we get to kick Mayweather in the stomach because he's supposed to... it hurts to get punched, right? Like, oh, I don't want to get punched. I'll just shove my opponent every time he gets close to me. No big deal. Nobody will even care. Right? The gall. Now, have you guys ever moved around with a guy that was better than you? And for the first round, you're like, damn, I'm fucking Mayweather, dude. Look at how easy this is. Oh, I'm picking him off. I'm doing the thing. I'm gonna be moving around. I'm just gonna be like, oh, got him with a stepping jab. What a sucker. And I'm gonna run away. Oh god, that was scary. Okay, here, got him with the hook. I'm gonna run away again. Okay, Jesus, that's so terrifying. He's getting so close to me. What am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna run away. Okay, he's getting close. He's getting close. Okay, I better quickly throw one punch and then run away real quick. What am I gonna do? No, I'm gonna tie him up instead. Just kidding, guys. You know what I mean? And doesn't it look like that's what's going on? You know, that the guy's right hand trying to just control enough space, throw one random punch. Now, real quick, we're going to take a look at Mayweather's right hand here because he's going to throw this bad boy, right? Gets to the front foot. Here he is, cross the line, throws that shot. Oh, it didn't even get him. He has to jump forward and try to control. Ooh, Castillo not following him. Not following up. Jab, jab, right hand. Punch him right in the mouth. Now, Mayweather's done a decent job of using X amount of energy to keep Castillo off of him. Now he fouls, right? Now he fouls. Again, if you just gave Castillo credit for a one punch, he'd be overwhelmingly winning these rounds, right? Now imagine if you actually just took a point from him, like a whole point. You didn't just give him a punch for Mayweather cheating. You gave him a round. Next below the waist. Again, tries to find a way out of this position by ducking below the waist. Now they actually get into a position. Again, here's the elbow where it's a weird spot for Castillo. So he tries to tie up, tries to make him eat a punch. What a fucker. I mean, good job, from Mayweather. Again, is he tired? There's a lot of explosions, a lot of stuff, right? He finally gets him into a position. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, it's pretty. Nah, it's. I couldn't tell if the referee said break or not. I couldn't really tell. But sometimes, if they're just tying up, the referee will grab the arm and just untie them. Might be one of those things where it's like, to be honest, he probably shouldn't have taken one. Mayweather's the one that needs a point taken from all the fouling. All right, Mayweather back on his grind. Now, Mayweather playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots here. Gets smacked, and then as soon as he gets hit, we can see that he's clearly hurt here too, by the way. Boom. Look at his leg. You see his leg, his left leg. Boom. Got him. Boom. Watch his left leg slip in between his feet here, right? He has no control over his leg right now. If he's not holding on, he probably goes down. But Mayweather, ducking, gets controlled low, eats a body shot while he comes up. Not bad, right? Castillo blocks this shot, comes back with his own counter. Boom. Mayweather misses, fouling punch here, and then gets cracked. Now, Mayweather, pretty fast, pretty strong, pretty fit. Comes in with a leaping shot, knows he got to catch up. Now, again, leaping shot, right? Even if he gets him, jumps onto his line, tries to shove him, misses his shove, and holds onto his head here, right? So, leaping shot, scoring, excellent shot. Instead of following up like a real G and trying to hurt his opponent and win the fight, because Mayweather doesn't throw punches to win fights. He throws punches to waste time and, get ahead on the scorecards, but not to punch his opponent. He fouls and then fouls. And then, is he trying to make it look like it's Jose Luis Castillo's fault? Look at the fucking dumb little smile on his face when the ref looks away. Look at that. You can see that he's like, oh man, I got away with one right there. Anyway, is Jose Luis Castillo still technically winning the round because he hurt Mayweather? I mean, I think he hurt him. Leaping hook, miss, gets down, comes back with the counter, miss. Mayweather throws a jab to the body, but again, only so that he can tie up. Foul. If they paused the round timer every time that they got clinched like that, and they were just like, pause, it'd probably happen less. Now Mayweather has to wrestle while they're not on the clock. Decent shot. Mayweather tries to circle out. Now, real quick, He doesn't want to get to that position, right? He doesn't want the ring to get cut off. He doesn't want to go to the left here because he's going to get pendulum, so he goes to the right. And now he's going to start controlling, so he can circle to the left. The shot comes, he makes a miss, and he's going to switch southpaw so that Jose Luis Castillo can't re-pendulum and catch him on the other side of cutting the ring off here, right? So keeping that contact, that point of contact really close. I don't think it works out overall for him because he does get tagged right there. He didn't get tagged as much as I thought he did, actually. I thought, okay, yeah, he got him good. But again, it's not free just to jump around and pendulum and pendulum. It's dangerous, right? Castillo coming in, but look at that. Boom, beautiful shot from Mayweather. Really, really good shot. Now, Mayweather lands a really good shot. What happens? Any of you real G's in the comment section, huh? What happens when one of you guys lands a leaping left hook like this on your opponent when they're running around? Are you guys going to try to grab them and hold them and be like, oh, bro, calm down. You see what I just hit you with, bro? You want another one of those? You better calm down, bro. I'm going to tie you up so I don't have to beat you out. Come on, like, how stupid, right? Like, why not just fight the guy? Why not pull counter? Why not throw a right hand after? We've seen Castillo throw multiple right hands after leaping left hooks, right? But instead, Mayweather getting away with fouling after throwing a punch, right? Threw a punch, immediately fouls, right? Who's not warning him for this, right? Come on, he's trying to come up and throw a punch, sits on top of his head like this. I think this is Vic Draculich, right? Crazy ass name, pretty cool name. Vic Draculich. Like, it is a pretty cool ass name. Vic. No, that wouldn't it'd be Vince. I don't know. Vic. What is that name from? Now again, Mayweather, hands down on the line, back half of the line, right side of the line, stepping jab, ties up, grabs him by the waist. Still gets touched a little bit with the left hand, but not really, but like kind of, but not really, but like, nah. Okay, I missed that part. Let's go back just a second here. Is that good boxing too, guys? So same trap here, right? He's been trying to work this trap all night. Jab, that pull, and then that thing. Less and less success. Again, it's not a real one. You just got to be super athletic to let it go. Oh my God, he just did it. Leaping left hook into the right hand. Okay. Finally following up on the move. Didn't even work out. Like, not a bad thing that it didn't work out. Like, it's better than him just grabbing and shoving him, right? Nobody wants to see that. Again, foul. Here you go. That wasn't so bad, right? This one, clear foul. Clearly, still gets punched. Jab, eats a jab. Where's the good defense? Jab comes under, right? Makes it to this position, and instead of fouling and shoving him, circles out. That wasn't bad. The referee was anticipating some fouls. He was getting real close. Now again, here comes that jab. Right hand over the top. Has been a while since we've seen that one from Castillo. What happened there? Did he? It looks like he punched and he missed. Maybe he did that on purpose too. Try to wrap his arm around his waist because 10 seconds left, right? So again, threw a shot, right hand, miss, counter, over the top, counter, underneath. Again, is he going to get low? Is he going to block a punch? Is he going to this? Is he going to that? No, he's going to try to follow the path of the dart. Or not the dart goes left, whatever you would call to the right, and tries to go that way and gets clocked. Is this good defense? He's not even throwing this punch, you guys, to hit his opponent. That's what a fraud he is. Okay? Like, The whole reason he even threw this punch was just because he's like, time out, bro. Stay away from me. Right? So he could shove him. Time out, time out, time out. The referee, okay, he threw another punch there. Mayweather threw a punch there. He should lose a point. He should lose a point. But Castillo didn't say anything about it because he knew he threw one. The bell rings like right here. And he throws that shot still. Touch, little probe. But that was blatantly way after. Now, I do want to say in the middle of a sequence, if the guy keeps going, you should have to you should have to pay for that punch if you threw it. You don't just get the bell to say, okay, the round's over if the middle of the sequence is still going, right? That's my personal philosophy. And that's also in line with the idea that Mayweather shouldn't get away with throwing a punch and then shoving his opponent. You took the risk to throw the punch. You don't just get to wrestle me. Let's box, bro. Anyway, so I don't care that Castillo really gets hit. He did throw a punch kind of after the bell, but he did try to not throw that other punch after the bell. Particularly not throw that punch. Who's in his corner right now? I thought it was Roger. Is it Senior? That's Roger. Oh my God, how did we? So what? Mayweather touches gloves. He puts his gloves up, controls his opponent, and then immediately tries to hold. Where's that good active guard there from Jose Luis Castillo, right? Getting his rhythm going, finding a way to interact with the jab, even though he's doing this down. Maybe he gets hit here, controlled, held on his head, countered again, right? And now it's funny because we look at this and we go like, man, this dude sucks, right? Like, he can't be that good. Jose Luis Castillo literally does the exact same thing to Mayweather when Mayweather gets on the ropes. Right. Okay. So far, a decent round starting from Mayweather. He landed a couple of decent shots. But my point is, Castillo will do the same thing. Right. Now, I want to point out real quick Mayweather starting off real fast at the beginning of this round, like he does almost every round. He tries to throw a couple of straight right hands to quote unquote pile up some points so that he can start getting on his bicycle, running around, pot shotting, not really scoring, and make it look like he's just super far ahead. Right. Jumped in with the 1-2 here. Bop, bop. Arguably missed, arguably blocked, right? Controls the head, almost gets hit, countered. Counter here. Both miss, actually. I thought he got hit. Now again, Castillo should just straight up get points for this. Or Mayweather should be docked points. Castillo's not allowed to grab by the waist, right? We saw that in round 4. Here's Mayweather allowed to grab by the waist. Why is it legal for him and not legal for Castillo? Still getting hit. How good is his defense? Multiple fouls in a row, still gets hit. Is that good defense? Is that good defense? Is that good defense? Multiple ducks below the waist in a row. All fouls, right? All fouls. None of those are illegal. Lead right hand. Missed. No value. Shoves him again. Where's the foul? Castillo goes in with a rear hand probe. Cracks Mayweather right on the head. Mayweather ducks below the waist anyway. And is Mayweather actually hurt? Like, what's going on here? Because he should not be just quitting, right? Is this a sign of a good fighter? Like, what was that? Save me, ref. He punched me in the head real hard. Castillo jumping on his line, trying to spoil him. And Castillo arguably stealing this round, right? I don't know what he... Oh, did he finally tell him not to push him? Yeah, finally told him not to push him. Hey, stop that. If I have to tell you 3 more times around, I'm going to take a point. Is this good defense, guys? Getting hit here, getting hit here, right? You remember earlier in the fight, when early in the round, when Castillo got hit twice in a row, and it looked like he wasn't really doing anything? That's like exactly what Mayweather's doing there. Finally got him with a point, shoving him with the elbow. What are you doing, Mayweather? What? Touches gloves, and then immediately reaches for his head. Gets punched in the head. What is he doing here? Is this good defense, guys? It looked like he just took a bunch of left hooks. Okay, get back to the... Okay, Mayweather going to come out, throwing right... Yep, throwing leaping left hook, throwing lead right hands, shoving with the elbow. Uh-oh. What does the fight look like when he's not allowed to do that? Real quick, why is he breaking it up right now? Why? Mayweather's shoving with the elbow, but Castillo's landing punches. Mayweather's the one that's not landing punches here. Stepping jabs, a leaping hook. Mayweather trying to spoil again, coming jab to the body, trying to make his way again to the body and spoil, tie him up. It's the overhook, eats body shots, eats hooks. If you're going to grab there, you're going to get hit. But the referee should not be intervening right here, right? Because Castillo's still hitting him, right? Mayweather's grabbing his arm. Sure, it's illegal, but Castillo's hitting, so who cares? Mayweather getting on his bicycle a little bit. Jumping in with the 1-2. Blocked, right? Clearly blocked. Controls, peels off. Didn't shove him that time. Now, Mayweather, in his Philly shell here, not allowed to shove, not allowed to this, eating body shots, eating body shots. Is this good defense? Eating a shot here, eating a shot over the top. Okay, still trying to control and manipulate with his arm, eating a body shot here, eating a shot over the top, eating a shot here. Again, trying to tie up and grab the arm now. If he's not allowed to shove, he's not really proficient here. Getting caught clean there. Clean, clean, clean punches, right? This is the equivalent of just some idiot standing in the middle of the ring and getting punched, right? Remember how stupid Ryan Garcia looked when he was trying to shoulder roll? Wasn't that exactly how stupid Mayweather looks? Except Mayweather doesn't look like he's literally bending completely at the waist. He's just kind of keeping his head up right now. Decent shot there. Decent shot there. Not bad. Mayweather picking it up on the inside. Still, I don't think he's ahead for this round. Eating that body shot there. Mayweather trying to hit that Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Explode. Boom, boom, right? Trying. Still losing on the inside, right? But look at how different the fight looks when there's less fouling, right? Look at how much more interesting it is, right? Like, sure, this can be a product of the fight, but you can't be shoving your opponent. Uh-oh. Is he creating too much space with that elbow again? Uh-oh. Pretty good left hooks there. Pretty good rear hand probe. Gets onto the line with him. Decent. Counter. Right? Again, Mayweather is not good at protecting his punches. Same counter over and over. Stepping jab. That pull thing. Hook-ish jab thing. But where's the defense? I know people say, but I mean, so many of these are clean shots. Cameraman was like, "Oh, I felt that." Mayweather, you scumbag. Ties him up here. And he's like, been trying to do that for like the last 3 rounds, right? Hey, immediately. Was that not a hug? That was, right? He was trying to scum him, right? I don't think he landed there. Now, where's the probing from Castillo, right? If we think, again, we reorganize how good is Castillo overall in this fight, right? That's his record right there, 45-4. 41 KOs, not bad. 41 KOs is pretty legit. But again, that's also against who? What level of opposition has Jose Luis Castillo been fighting his whole life? Now, real quick, you guys, I just want to point out, you see how Mayweather throws this jab here, and then this right hand comes at you? This is the cost of business, all right? Boxing doesn't just get any easier. Your opponent's just not allowed to, not throw punches at you because you're a good athlete, right? That fight with Shakur Stevenson, De Los Santos, Shakur Stevenson should have been deducted a point in almost every single round for running, for refusing to engage. Every single round should have almost been a 10-8 for De Los Santos, right? But fights are dangerous. Boxing is dangerous. You are going to get hit, right? And that's why it's important that you have a good system, that you understand what you are and you are not supposed to be doing here. Because this has not really been working for Mayweather. The only reason he gets away with it is because he's allowed to foul, right? It's very, very difficult to be as strong and fast and as athletic as Mayweather, right? Who knows if he was on steroids, right? I've talked to coaches who were fighters back in the day, and they said everyone was taking them. Everyone. And I didn't make them elaborate. I'm not trying to get all those dirty secrets from all those back time, all this, got them, right? But it's not free. If you can't catch and you can't block punches and you can't do this and you can't do that and you got to fight, you still got to control space. Throwing punches at your opponent, right? And again, this was how Mayweather fought. This is how he fought everybody. I'll just be fast and more athletic and explosive than you. I'll throw this punch real fast, and I'll hope you can't get me. And he got him right there, right? He got him back, but jabbing to the body again, not really trying to score. He just wants to tie him up. He just wants to eat a few seconds on the clock, right? Now, starting to get hit with some really clean shots. Yeah, that sounds really good too. Decent jabs from Mayweather, moving around here into that little leaping hook here. I like he gave him a little bit of a feint too. Bop. Boom. Now again, shoving him after, not real boxing. Ducking below the waist right there, not real boxing. Grabbing him over the head, not real boxing. Now, real quick, I just want to point out, right, because we're here, gets on the line, throws a punch, shoves him. 110. Gets on the line, ducks below the waist, grabs him, punches him. Ref breaks him. Gets on the line, grabs him, punches him, grabs him. 10 seconds have gone by. 10 seconds have gone by. Right? That's like 6% of the entire round. How many times do you actually have to grab and hold your opponent to prevent them from scoring long enough to win a fight? Right? Throw a couple of random bursts at the beginning of each round, hope that you steal enough that you can just jab and run. But like, is this good boxing? Is this good defense? He got hit clean there. That was a clean shot. Miss. Gets on the line. That's a clean shot. That's not, no. Well, almost a clean shot. Not bad there. Good, a lot of good angles. Riding almost. Riding with this shot. Still gets him a little bit on top of the head. He pulls. Now, people call this the shoulder roll, you guys, right? Do you see how this resembles a pull counter, you guys? It's just a shitty pull counter. It's not like a real great thing, and Mayweather doesn't do the shoulder roll well. It's not a good version of it either. And again, ducking below the waist. Mayweather jumps on the line, throws his right hand, back foot coming off the ground, gets into a position to shove, right? Bell right now. Like 4 or 5 punches after the bell. Anyway, um, I guess a lot of this film study is just pointing out how maybe remarkable Mayweather's speed is and unremarkable his boxing talent is. A lot of the stuff that he does in a few years, you guys, you're just not going to see it done, right? That pull counter that Mayweather has, the only people that are going to be doing that move are people who can't really get their weight from one side of their body to the other. They can't really get their weight down. And that should be nobody. That should be beginners only, right? Because that pull counter, that style pull counter is the kind like, oh, whoops, I didn't see that punch coming. I didn't anticipate, maybe I can jump back, right? But plenty of guys get hurt and knocked out with that move. People are better at boxing now than they were in the 90s. Okay? There are more and more people who are strong and fit, like Mayweather. Now, some people think Mayweather was on juice. They think he was on steroids. I don't really know. I do think that he's going to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger as he moves up in weight. But, most of what Mayweather looks like is like pretty normal, super fit, right? But pretty normal. I imagine his diet is mostly clean. I do know he, soda here and there, but takes recovery seriously, this and that. I never personally bought into like the Mayweather does steroids thing. It was never like something that I was curious about Pacquiao though, because everyone was saying he's afraid of needles and he's got all these tattoos and all that, but I don't really know. But like, here's the thing. The 90s were, in the early 2000s, the worst ever time in boxing history. In the late 80s, right? Late 80s, 90s, the 2000s. I guess what is it? The 2010s? What is that? Maybe they sucked too. But there weren't very many great coaches, right? The best pull counter you have, and the best teacher for it is Floyd Mayweather Sr. And he's telling Floyd Mayweather to shoulder roll instead of pull counter, ruining a perfectly good move. Mixing up the fact that he's going to pull straight back to do his pull counter instead of down, which again completely fundamentally changes his understanding of how that move works and stops him from even associating having a pull counter off of his jab, which is why he jabs and he pulls straight back and then lunges in with that stepping jab instead of having a jab where he can pull and throw a right hand. Again, yeah, Mayweather, pretty overrated. Great athlete, strong. There's some good strategy in there, right? Hard to fight, for sure. But if you remove all the things from Mayweather's repertoire that aren't boxing, as soon as he gets tired or his patterns become recognizable, because what? Just like Beterbiev, he has a stepping jab, he has a rear hand probe, and he has a leaping hook, right? However, Beterbiev can also pendulum onto your line and just start throwing bombs. And Mayweather doesn't really do that, He does have some spots. He does it against Marcus Corley, which we will be watching on Patreon. Again, check out Patreon if you guys like the film study. We're going to be watching full fights like this and analyzing them and talking over them. And yeah, we'll probably pick another fighter maybe after that. But yeah, I'm not sure who. I'm not sure. Anyway, see you guys.